Just a brief summary of those changes. There's been a recent revision to the voltage classifications and definitions, aligning those, low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage with other standards. There's changes to voltage fault current levels, an updated electrode configuration. And what that basically means is if it's horizontal or horizontal bus or vertical bus, that has different arc flash values based on those orientations. And so the new software incorporates that type of data into the calculation. Enclosure size, this is actually a big one for a lot of folks. If it's an open air explosion, it kind of goes 360 degrees. If it's a big box, it's not quite as focused. But as the boxes get smaller and shallower, the enclosure size really can turn what might be a more minor fault in a much more focused fault, and at least focused on the individual standing in front of it. They're going to remove the ground system or the system grounding variable, and then inclusion of minimum distances. And then one of the biggest takeaways, I think, from some of those changes is there are changes, right? There's changes in the standard, there's changes in your system. And it's important that you revisit these studies every 5 years. Now, that's not to be confused with you have to redo your study every 5 years, but you do need to take into account that there have been these changes, and you might have situations where your arc flash could be reduced. And those new labels would actually allow the people working on that equipment to wear the appropriate PPE, because that's always about appropriate. We don't want to wear more PPE than we need. We want to wear the appropriate PPE. But because of these changes as well, especially on the enclosure size, we might find that there are actually situations where the arc flash is higher, and now somebody might be underprotected. And of course, that would be the worst case scenario, is individuals being underprotected. Overprotection, it's uncomfortable. Underprotection is could be catastrophic and hazardous to people.